Hello, everybody. If you're new watching this, again, I'm Debbi Starr, Debbi, and what I wanted to talk about today was to give you 3 productivity hacks that successful entrepreneurs use daily. So briefly, what that is, an entrepreneur, someone who's successful in their business, I'm always talking about systems and the CEO mindset. The first thing they do is they plan their week in advance. Ideally, like Sunday evening, what is it that you're hoping to accomplish? What are the top goals that you're aiming for? And you move forward. In addition to that, as you're planning your week, each day, instead of having this long to-do list of everything that you need to do, you need to select the top 3. And I call it the top 3 one must do. Now, most of us have kind of grown up with lists. We make lists. We feel good about checking things off. But realistically, you can only accomplish 2 or 3 things in a day. And if you try to load your plate up with 20 things that you're trying to do at the end of the day, what happens? You look at your list and you realize that you haven't accomplished half the stuff, and then you feel like a failure. The most successful entrepreneurs recognize that there's a limited amount of time and there's only so much you can do in a day. So by focusing on what your goals are, on those top 3 things that's going to move you forward in your business, then you focus just on those. Now, I'm not talking about, okay, every day you check your email or every day you post something in your Facebook group. Those are standard tasks that you do. What I'm talking about are the top 3 or top 2 things that's going to move you forward in your business. And then the next thing that successful entrepreneurs do to truly become productive is they measure their day. So what do I mean by that? So let's say you set a goal that you're going to be working on your content for your online course, and you're going to work on it every day. And you have a long range goal. You're going to get this course published by the end of the month. But for today, working on that, what is the specific goal? Are you going to be doing it by how much time you spend, or are you going to be doing it based on a tangible end result? It doesn't really matter, but what does matter is you have to have a way to measure that. If you don't measure it, 1, how do you know that you're making progress? And 2, without that measurement, then you have no grade. So if there's no grade, then it kind of gets to the point that, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll do it tomorrow. So again, we're talking about these productivity hacks that will move you forward in your business. So why is it effective? I just heard a quote not too long ago. Sorry, I can't remember who said it, but it said 1 hour of planning equals 3 days of doing. Now think about that. So before you start your week, if you plan your week in advance, just take 30 minutes or take an hour and plan what is it that you're trying to accomplish, what's going to move you forward. By investing that 1 hour, it can really save you a lot of time because you're not every day sitting at your computer and kind of floundering or being pulled in one direction or another. And that takes me to the second point of why is this so effective is because it does keep you focused. You know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do, and you're not going to be sidetracked. As the CEO of your business, you decide what your goals are, not other people. You're not being dictated by your phone. You're not being driven by your email, your social media, instant messages, all of that kind of stuff. And when you focus on just those top 3 things for the day, you're not going to get overwhelmed. You're not going to get that deer in the headlights, like I have so much to do, I don't even know what to do. Has that ever happened? I mean, if it does, put something in the comments below that, yes, you can relate to that. I mean, we all do, because we look at the plate and we just think, where do we get started? So by reining in that focus, the top 3 tasks for the day, it's going to keep you from getting overwhelmed, and it's going to give you that beautiful sense of accomplishment. It's just wonderful to be able to check off something and know that you truly accomplished that task. Excuse me. In the excuse me. In the business world, you might have heard this as far as measuring your accomplishments or your goals. The SMART goals, in other words, it has to be measurable. And what do I mean by it being measurable? If somebody is trying to lose weight, if you just say, I want to lose weight, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to get to the finish line that you want to lose weight? You've lost a pound, you've lost 20 pounds. You want to lose enough weight to go down a dress size. You want to lose enough weight that your waist is 4 inches smaller. So by being very specific on the goal and then having a measurement, excuse me, it keeps you moving forward. You know if you're making progress. And if you're not making progress, then you go back to the planning board and you figure it out. What is it that's keeping me from moving forward? And when you have these specific high-level goals and then the task, those top 3 things that you're working on, again, the measurement is so critical because it's building those systems so that you'll have those systems in place and you can actually move forward in your business. So another example, so let's say you're working on increasing your social media, or maybe you're trying to grow your Facebook group. So you might set a big goal, like a monthly goal of, I want to add 200 new people to my Facebook group. So that would be the goal. And then you look at, okay, what are the tasks associated with that? Well, one task might be reaching out to 5 people a day. So you could move that into your daily one of the top 3 things, because that's a high-level goal for you for the month. You want to grow your Facebook group. And then the task associated with that is every day you're going to be reaching out to 5 people. Then at the end of the day, do you see how now you can measure that? And instead of beating yourself up, you use that measurement as a way of analyzing what's working. So you're kind of creating the system, but then you realize as you look at your whole week, every day you only reached out to 3 people instead of 5 people. So you can analyze, okay, why isn't this working? And then you realize, okay, I'm putting that like below my 2 other top tasks. So maybe move it up to the very first thing that you're going to do for the day. Or maybe your reward mechanism needs to kick in. What are you going to, reward yourself? Maybe that's what keeps you motivated, keeps you moving forward. So by measuring and looking at that every day, and then at the end of the week, you can see where you have to make adjustments, maybe what's working, what's not. If that makes sense to you, put a thumbs up, give me a heart in the comment that makes sense. So I want to tell you a little story. Many years ago, I worked with a CEO of a large healthcare organization. Now, he was responsible for a huge corporation. What's interesting about him is he was in control of his week, his day, and his hours. Everything was mapped out, and if it wasn't scheduled, he didn't do it. He had standard times that he met with his team members, his VPs. He used his early mornings. He blocked out certain times that he would respond to his email. So every day from 8 to 9, he responded to email. The important thing was he had systems built in, and most importantly, these systems kept him accountable. So as the CEO of that corporation, he just didn't do something when he felt like it. He just didn't do something because, oh, this seems really fun. Let me do this. No, he had this whole accountability framework set up. Now, it's not to say that he was super rigid and, that people couldn't get to him when they needed him. He also had a system for that. He had an open door policy, but just during certain times of the day. So maybe it was 2 to 3, I can't remember. That was his kind of casual work time, but also open door time. So his team members could come in if they had quick questions, they needed to brainstorm, something like that. But again, the key was he was in control. So this whole session that we're talking about are the productivity hacks for successful entrepreneurs. So what about you? Do you have some different systems or hacks that keep you accountable for running your business like a CEO? And again, as we talked about it, is this system is one that will help you plan your perfect week and help you map out your day so that every day you're hitting those goals, you're hitting those milestones, and then you have a system in place to evaluate or check to see where you're at. Now, there's many, many different ways that you can do this. And in my productivity program for entrepreneurs course that I teach, I dig a lot deeper, and this is where I give you all kinds of tools and templates to help you. But for today, let me show you a kind of a fun little hack that you could use if you're a Trello user. I'll share my screen here, and I'll just show you a very simple little system you could use in Trello. I use Trello with my clients. Personally, I use Asana for my kind of to-do management system. And this isn't the place to do the pros and cons of either one. They both work very similarly. So I'm just going to show you that. The key, though, is don't get lost in the woods. All of a sudden now you're playing with setting up these Trello boards, things like that. Yes. And I'm sorry, again, I can't see the names, but time chunking. And that's something else that I teach in the productivity course. When you learn to chunk your time, it is going to make you so much more productive. So let me share my screen. I'm just going to pull this off to the side here just for a quick minute. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so now this is just a simple little Trello board that I whipped up this morning just to give you an idea. So, and Trello is free. And so what I did here was just basically you could have a column that mapped out your goals. So your yearly, quarterly, monthly goals. And then based on those, I didn't put anything in here, I'm just giving you an idea. Then based on what those goals are, of course, your monthly goals should be moving you towards your quarterly goals, your yearly goals, and so forth. And then from those goals, you have your daily task list. And again, for purposes of this training, it's your top 3 things that's going to move you towards your monthly and quarterly goals. So let me just show you quickly what I did here. This first column, I'm calling it my to-do parking lot. So as entrepreneurs, as creatives, we're always just thinking of all kinds of wonderful ideas and projects and things we want to do. It may or may not relate directly to our monthly or quarterly goal, but we need some place to park that. So that's what I created this little column for here, is you get a great idea, you just want to put it there. Or maybe it's something you do need to accomplish. And so for instance, literally today I do need to update my Facebook profile photo. Let me just show you the rest here. And then I just have columns for each day of the week. And I'm going to come back to these task list cards in just a second. So today's Friday when I'm filming this, so optimize my Facebook profile photo. I'm just going to drag it over here and I'm just going to drop it into the Friday column. And again, what we're doing is we're planning our perfect week, planning our perfect day. So Sunday night or early morning Monday, you would review your goals so you could stay focused on what you're trying to work on. Maybe review any outstanding items you need to work on, and then decide which day of the week that needs to be put into. And so see how you're planning your perfect week. Then in your daily task, and I'll just open this up here. And this, well, let me close just for a quick second. So what I did was I just created a template for my daily task list. So in business, of course, yes, there's always things that you do. So for instance, you might spend 30 minutes every day in Facebook engagement. You might spend 30 minutes or an hour on answering emails. You might write blogs or articles. And so every day you've allotted to doing that. So I've just put these under daily must-dos because it's something I do every day. And if you do it long enough, it becomes a habit. And ultimately, these are fulfilling that master goal. So if my goal is growing my Facebook group, or if my goal is building my client list, maybe my blog writing is what's going to help me accomplish that. Of course, some things you just have to do. If you have a business, you're going to be answering emails. And again, Facebook engagement, that might be part of your marketing plan. So whatever it is, and then you would just, when you accomplish it, you just check it off. And, it just gives you that great feeling when you've done it. But then up here, excuse me, here's where I'm saying top 3 for today. So as you sat down and mapped out your perfect week, you realize that your top 3 that's moving you forward, I'll just use one from last week. I'm part of a virtual summit. And so last week, one of my very top 3 things was I had to create my freebie for my virtual summit. Okay. So again, that would be my one must thing. And ideally no more than 3. And this was my one must thing. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'll just close that. And again, as you're mapping out your perfect week, you're looking at your goals, you're looking at some miscellaneous tasks that have come up, and you've decided where to put them. And then this daily is just where you come in here. So on Tuesday, it's got the same thing. I'm using the same template. And then again, maybe there's a miscellaneous random thing. I could add it here if I wanted. And this is where I would drill down and I would focus on those top 3 things of the day. And again, these little cards that you create. So maybe creating my master webinar list, it would be great if I got it done today, but it's not going to kill my goal list, so to speak. So I can just move it over to Tuesday. And then that last tip that I gave you, that the productivity hack, is you want to make sure that you review at the end of the day. So some people, like if you're in construction, for instance, or in a factory, they build in like downtime in the sense at the end of the day. So you might, clean your tools and put them away, or there might be certain sequences you go through to shut down a system that's running. So what I would suggest is that at the end of the day, schedule 15 minutes and then just do a quick review of how did your day go. And you could just make comments here if you wanted, and make sure that you record your wins. That's super important. So maybe you didn't get all 3 done, but you got 2 done. So just write a quick little thing. I feel really good that I got those 2 top things done for the day. And then at the end of the week, do the same thing, or at the beginning of next week, take a quick look. It only has to take a couple minutes. Take a quick look and see what worked and what didn't. And then you'll be able to modify the system. And then if you need to make changes, you can do that. All right, so let me stop sharing my screen here. Bring this back. Okay, so hopefully that made a lot of sense to you, that in order to grow your business, you must stay on top. Let me just get rid of some of these screens here. Stay on top of these productivity hacks of moving forward, mapping out your perfect week, your perfect day, only scheduling 2 or 3 top must things for the day. Okay, so next week, I'm going to be digging into accountability and how important that is for your business. So if you're watching this, make sure that you put comments down below if you watch it on replay or after the fact. And if you're interested in grabbing this Trello template, I'm happy to share that with you. Also, put that in the comments and I can share it with you. All right. Have a great day.